Hey guys, it is Jeanette, aka Sweet Jean, and this video is a what's in my chemo bag. I have chemotherapy tomorrow. I go in at 8:30 for lab work, and then 9 o'clock I see my doctor. She will go over my lab results. If everything looks fine, then she will give the okay for the chemotherapy. She'll ask me about any new symptoms, ask me how I'm feeling, give me any refills if I need any refills, things like that. And then once I'm done talking to her, she will send me to the other end of the building where we have an infusion room. And basically there's like 50 to 60 recliners. Each recliner has a medicine pole hooked up to, not hooked up, but each recliner has a medicine pole, so that way they can administer chemotherapy or any other type of targeted therapy for cancer patients and for patients who have blood disorders. But the majority of the patients are cancer patients. And so on my days that I go for chemo, I usually will take a bag, and I've been using this one for the past, I think since December. So this is my Selena bag, Selena Quintanilla, Siempre Selena. So this is my bag. It's pretty big. The reason why it's pretty big is because I usually take a blanket with me, and this is my blanket. So it is very soft. Oh, it's not focusing. Come on, focus. There it goes. So on one side it has the red hearts, and on the other side is just pink, which is my favorite color. Always has been since I was a little girl. My color was always pink. My sister's color was always purple. So this is my big, huge blanket, and it is so soft and so comfy, because when you go to your doctor's office or to the hospital or any type of medical facility, they typically have the thermostat set at 70, because if there are any viruses or bacteria or any germs, they're less likely to grow or spread if it's a cooler environment as opposed to a warmer environment. So whenever I go to chemo, and also depending on my iron, if it's a little bit low, then I tend to get a little bit cold. So this covers me from head to toe. So I always take a blanket with me. That's one. The first thing. Then the second thing is I usually take something to write on. And I have my pin here and I have another pin in there, but this is just I have some paperwork in here, but this is just like to keep track of my symptoms, make any notes, anything that I don't want to forget, any positive things that I've run across, I write them down and I look in here. So for example, it says enjoy your own company, because a lot of times you're in there and everybody is, most people have somebody with them, and then some people just go by themselves, and I tend to go by myself, and I have been going by myself for the past year and a half. It's just because I don't want, my sister used to go with me, and sometimes my mom would go with me, and sometimes my son would go with me, but I'm laying back on this recliner, and sometimes I tend to doze off, and I'm hooked up in my Metaport to my chemotherapy, and I'm there for hours, like 3-4 hours getting the infusion, and it's boring for anybody else. And yeah, they could sit there and they can talk to me and all that, but I'm more in my head, I'm more quiet. Whenever I'm there, I'm not that talkative. I don't want to be there, and so I know I just don't want anybody else to sit there for 3 hours just to keep me company when I know that they have probably better things to do. Let's see. So it says don't be anti, be pro, which is another thing I wrote down. Energy flows where attention goes. So I want to give my energy to positive and not to negative, because negative thoughts and stress and emotions continuously reassemble, reorganize, recreate our bodies. So there's just things that I've heard along the way, things that I've seen in movies or heard in movies, and just little quotes. So I jot them down if they're positive, and that way, if I just need like a positive reinforcement, I have my book here, or my journal here, to write things down. And then of course I have some empty pages to write down any thoughts that I'm having, any ideas that I'm having, any just, you know, anything and everything. So I just keep it as a journal, kind of keep it as a memory keeper, things like that. So I keep that with me, so something to write in, and some things that have like positive quotes. And this also has, each page also has a quote. Like for example, I just opened this up and it says, "He that eateth my flesh and drinketh my blood dwelleth in me, and I in him." And that's from John 6:56. So there's just like gospel and scripture in here. So I keep this with me. Another thing that's in here is a notepad. So this is just another thing that I could jot down quick notes on. So this is a notepad that I keep with me. I have earbuds, because when you're in your chair, I hate to say this, but when other people are on their laptop or on their iPad, or on their phone, and they don't have earbuds in, I don't want to hear what they're listening to. I don't want to hear their voice messages. I don't want to hear the shows that they're watching, you know. And so I don't want to be rude or disrespectful, so I always plug in with earbuds, so I don't have to bother anybody else with what I'm watching, or with what, if, you know, the music that I may be playing, or what have you. So I always have earbuds with me, so I brought those. And then along those lines is an extension cord. Each and every chair is against a wall, or against like a divider. Each and every chair has its own outlet. And so since I'm there for 3 to 4 hours getting infusion, getting my chemotherapy, I don't want any of my devices to run low on battery. So I always plug this in, because typically the charger that comes with the phone is just barely long enough to reach the wall around the chair and to me. So just to make sure that I always have enough slack, I always carry an extension cord in my bag. I have lotion. I'm running pretty low on this one, and I do have a replacement. I just have to find it. It's somewhere in my drawers here. But this is a stress relief eucalyptus spearmint body cream, and this was gifted to me when I was in the hospital 3 years ago, when I had my back and neck surgery, my spine surgery. Someone gifted this to me. I had trouble sleeping, I had anxiety, I had stress. They saw this stress relief and they decided that it was something that they wanted to gift me. So it is just, it just takes me back. I'm gonna get emotional. It takes me back to when I was in a very, very low state in my life. My life was changing before me, and I had no control. And this just brought so much calm to me. It was just very calming. And anytime I'm in a state of mind where I have anxiety, or if I'm depressed, or if I'm sad, or if I'm just anxious, this always, always, always calms me down. And I think I'm going to put a little bit on my hands right now. It's just, I love this. And so, I'm trying to remember who gifted to, I think it was Rosemary who gifted this to me, or Arlene gifted this to me in a little care package. And then the replacement that I have, my friend Azucena gave that to me, and I still have that. And so I never ever let myself be without this, because it just, It's just so soothing and so calming, and it does relieve stress in me anyway. So if you ever have a chance to smell that, you should pick it up if you have a tiny bit of anxiety or sadness or depression or whatever. Mostly anxiety. I have roasted cashews in here. I always carry snacks. I usually have more than just this. I usually have more snacks, but they do have machines there. Snack machines. They have a coffee machine. They usually have like cookies or donuts or biscuits. So I have these snacks. I also even have this, which is hot chocolate, Swiss Miss hot chocolate. I also have an antibacterial thing from Bath and Body Works. What else? I have lip balm and I have a lip scrub. It's just something that I have. I have a nail file and I have nail polish remover in case I so inclined to do my nails. I have another pin. I have a hair tie. I have a straw. I know I'm weird. And then at the bottom of my bag, as you can probably hear, is I have change. I just have a lot of change for the snack machine. And I usually have more in my purse. And then I have cough drops because sometimes I get a little frog in my throat and I'm just coughing and coughing and coughing. And then I just have random loose napkins or tissue if ever I get a runny nose, or if I'm feeling sad and tears come to my eyes, I have tissue with me. And that's basically it, guys. That is basically it. That is all that is in my chemo bag. Some people like to carry spearmint because it helps with nausea. I don't ever really suffer from nausea too much, so I don't carry spearmint with me, or spearmint gum, or peppermint. I'm trying to think of other things that people might take with them. I don't know, but this is what I take. So anyhow, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video. I don't know if this helps anybody, or if it's somebody who is newly diagnosed and they just are searching the internet, finding out what people might take with them to chemo. This is what I take. I just like to be prepared. I like to be warm. I like to have something to write down and jot my thoughts on. I have my phone always with me. I have my earbuds always with me because, like I said, I don't want to interrupt anybody that's sitting next to me who just is there to relax. They're not bothered by what I'm listening to because I have my earbuds in. I take my extension cord. It's not a really big heavy duty one. It's just enough to plug in and have my devices plugged in. I used to take my laptop, but I don't really do a whole lot on my laptop anymore. I watch Netflix, I watch YouTube and everything else on my phone, on my smartphone. So anyhow, I hope this was helpful to somebody out there. If you're newly diagnosed, I'm really sorry that you were diagnosed. I really wish you the best, and I pray that everybody who is diagnosed find comfort and find healing, and are able to come to a place where they can be stress-free, or as much as you can in this type of situation. It's not easy. Don't stay in your head too much. Things can go in your head and you're just getting sad and depressed about it. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to be depressed. Obviously, you're going through something that's really rough and really, you know, something that's you feel maybe out of your control. I get it. Watch any of my videos and you'll see I'm crying in most of them because I'm in my head too much. But I'm trying to learn to wake up every single day and be appreciative that I woke up, and know that I'm blessed with my family, with my son, with still being able to function, still being able to put in a few hours of work a week. You know, gives me something to look forward to. And I hope you find whatever works for you to help relieve any stress or any depression or any sadness. There's just some things that you will never have the answer to, so it's just best not to even ask. One of the things that I had difficulty in was, why me? And I cried for a year. I cried for a year asking why me. And I came to the realization that I will never, ever, ever have the answer. And so I don't ask why me anymore. That's not a question that I ever ask, because like I said, you're never gonna get the answer to that. So try to concentrate on the positive things in your life. Try to be thankful for what you have. Know that you're blessed if you're still alive and watching this, and know that you have purpose. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for my returning subscribers, who always have positive things to say to me and have kept me in your prayers. I really very much appreciate it. And if you're not subscribed, I hope you consider subscribing. So anyhow, I will see you guys in the next video. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. Bye.